Oof.
Um,
What you think?
what an interesting way to do these two stories. So here's the thing: life and death is a big famous story between Storm's run in the comics. This is where she got her the ponytail and the motorcycle jacket. This is how she did it. I think because they're doing multiple episodes, they decided to part the first half of this story into one of them and then the other half into another. The thing about why they did it in this episode is because of the connection between Roberto and Jubilee and Storm and Forge. Though I think because I know they either a couple or they get together one not, I don't know if it was fully developed in these 15 minutes, 10 minutes?
Nah, yeah, it was definitely rushed. But it
Yeah,
kind of seemed
so
like they were trying to do their own version of like a time lapse type of thing.
yes.
Because I think that like the implication was that they've been kind of settled at that cabin for quite some time. I'm hoping that's the case. I feel like they could have handled that a lot better to kind of make us feel a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Specifically with the "I love you," bomb. It
Yeah.
felt a little soon.
Yeah.
But, for sure, it could have been handled a little differently, but it doesn't take away from the fact that I did enjoy this episode.
I had fun. I had a blast. Jubilee and here's the thing. It's funny enough. The Jubilee and Roberto thing, I buy just because for what 4 episodes now we've been teasing the dynamics, how they first met, to the haunted mansion, the horror sequence where they're together and battling it out, seeing what Roberto's going through. So that I bought more. The Storm and Forge thing, not so much. And granted, maybe comic book readers might do. I think once I read it, maybe it might hit better. But as a self-contained thing, that's a two-parter. I don't know. I think if this episode was longer, we stayed more with Storm and Forge, maybe it might hit harder. But um, here's the weird thing. So I don't know if you know this, but they've done like Old Man Logan stories of where Logan's older. In DC, they've done Old Lady Harley, I think.
Okay.
And so I don't know if they've ever done Old Lady Jubilee in the Marvel comics. If they haven't, this is a good offspring to be like, yo, try that as a miniseries. See how Jubilee is if she makes it later on in life. And because that was so cool. I was like, who was that?
Yeah, and
And
it's like
also,
there's
oh
a it was just so cool. It reminded me of another thing that we can't really talk about, something that comes out
yeah.
soon. But I mean, it was just one thing that I really like about that is the showcasing the abilities and to see how like she's like, "Oh my god, I can do that in the future." And it's just it's so cool to kind of know that that's the possibility specifically with these mutants cuz maybe their abilities can't be get stronger, but they can get stronger, like they can learn how to kind of amplify or do tricks, kind
Yeah.
of like I don't think you've seen Solo Leveling, but it was kind of similar to that where they were saying like I think it's Solo Leveling that I'm thinking of where they were like, yeah, you can't really kind of you can't grow with your kind of like powers if you will, but you
Mm,
can develop techniques and make it so you can be better, you know what I'm saying? So it kind of reminded
yeah.
me of that, but it was so cool to see the older Jubilee just zipping around, just using like the fireworks. Like she made like weapons with. I don't know. Just it was so cool, so cool.
And here's the thing that maybe the Forge Storm connection maybe didn't hit, but I think that the power things, that the fact they didn't give it to her immediately, I think that's gonna feel earnest once we get to that. If she gets her powers back, that'll feel earned. That it didn't just come back that instantly because Forge pressed the button and hang out
Yeah.
with her over a
Mhm.
season and whatnot. Um, yeah, man, I really dug that. I'm trying to find out if maybe it was Holly Chu who played her older self of Jubilee and whatnot. I don't know. I could be wrong, but yeah, man, that was I had fun. This is what's the cool thing about okay, so Abby, okay, cool. So this is someone of friends who voiced in this episode, which was fun to do. Um, I always appreciated that the X Men, although they could tell these gigantic, big epic stories, that once in a while they'll do
Something like what they did with specifically what's her name Jubilee and Roberto. I did like that. I feel like it was very different, very cool. It kind of felt like filler in a sense, which I thought was pretty cool. Not bad filler. Like I feel like when people say filler, they think of like something on the lines of like what is it called? Like wasting time. You know what I'm saying? But I don't
Yeah.
necessarily see that. I think it's always fun to have an episode that's kind of like a little more villain of the week vibe, kind of like laid back, and you don't have to worry about like consequences for down the road. Which I feel like in this case we could see consequences for down the road, but it was still really cool to kind of just have our own kind of thing, kind of contained in one episode. You know, I always like that. I like to be able to go back and enjoy one episode without having to be like, oh wait, I gotta watch the build up before it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, there's the thing that like even in the books they would do like an issue where it's just them playing basketball. It's literally an issue, just all them playing basketball and
Oh,
whatnot.
that's
So
awesome.
and so I'm like, all right, maybe this it's one of those issues like this for this episode, whatnot. But again, I feel the thing with Forge and Storm will be paid off later down the road, which as long as we spend more time with them. But this was earnest in my opinion, whether I want it or not. Roberto and Jubilee spending time together and that dynamic to see how it ends up, it felt earnest in my opinion. Um, and just on a visual level, they're doing their thing and yet honoring what's come in the past. But yeah, that's my reaction to X-Men 97 episode 4.
Hmm.
I had a fun time. I'm really intrigued to see what else they're gonna tackle because they tackled one of the new shots in the credits with the guy with Mojo. They already did that in this episode. So I wonder what else are they gonna tackle? Are they gonna tackle Emma Frost? What else are they gonna bring into the forefront? You brought Juggernaut.
Yeah, and
Um,
the fact that they showed him, like I don't think I noticed Emma Frost in the opening before, but it was just really cool to see her. But yeah, Juggernaut's character, I definitely want to see. I thought I saw Pyro in the background for a second, but I think I'm
I
tripping.
think so too.
But still, it's just gonna be really cool to see some of these characters just kind of make their
Thunderbird.
entrance. And yeah,
That
and
was
they've
the one I saw.
okay, and they've showed the Blob on numerous
Yes.
occasions, which has been so much fun. I love how God, I'm like bugging on names right now, but I'm a big fan of how Morph can
Hmm.
kind of like transform in the different characters. We saw Magic, we saw, like it's just one thing that I'm really looking forward to, just seeing more of that. I think he transformed into Psylocke at one point,
Yes.
but it's just,
Yes.
and even Colossus. It's
Yes.
just, it's so cool to see
During the
these different
insurrection. Yeah.
mutant characters kind of make their way into the show without actually being there, but it's going to be really cool to see them actually be here.
Yo, two things. That Gambit, Rogue, and Magneto interaction, and that Morph joke about his parents. And it's like, yo, this
Oh
guy
my
made out
god.
of Auschwitz. It's like, come on, bro. What the fuck?
He's like, "Yeah, my parents were dead. Like they perished when I was a child." He's like, "Oh
Yeah.
shit." It's so funny. Not the situation, but the way Morph reacted, of course.
Yeah. Just like, oh
but
shit. Yeah.
but yeah, that's pretty much it, right? That sums up everything. I
Yeah.
mean, I appreciate you being here, Ronin, as
Thank you for
always.
being a part of it.
Of course, yeah, we're kind of like posting this on both channels, so we're like
Yeah.
intertwined, but still it's
For my channel, where well, where can people find you, and what can they look forward to your channel?
for Ronin's channel, you can find me at Busy Braun. You can find me at Busy Reactions on Instagram and on TeamJVS dropping reviews. And for Ronin, you can find him in my description. Yeah.
Just there. For my channel, you can find me at Ronin Chain. You can watch us covering this Invincibles finale, Shogun, and Bad Batch, and
Yes,
some
sir.
other stuff we have cooking down the pike.
Yes, sir. And I might be featured in some of those Bad Batch and Shogun reactions. So Busy Brown
Hmm.
people, go over there, please. And yeah, peace out.
Take care, y'all.